If you're a K-pop fan, you know the feeling. I mean, you've definitely felt it. It's that moment in an interview that makes you just physically cringe. The awkward pause, the really weird question, the idol looking totally lost. It happens so often now it almost feels like a feature, not a bug, of K-pop going global. Okay, let's get into it and unpack what's really going on behind all the perfect polish and choreography.
It's honestly a shared trauma for fans, right? You get so hyped to see your favorite group on some big Western talk show, but instead of this fun, insightful chat, you get this stilted, super uncomfortable exchange that leaves everyone feeling weird, the host, the idols, and especially you watching at home. So what is it? Is it just a language thing? A simple culture clash? Or is there something way deeper going on in the industry itself?
Wow. I mean, this comment about BLACKPINK's Jennie, pulled right from online forums, just cuts straight to the heart of the problem. It perfectly nails the conflict that causes so many of these awkward moments. It's this constant battle between the polished, perfect persona that idols are trained for years to project, and that raw, unfiltered authenticity that Western audiences, especially, have come to demand from their stars.
So to really get a handle on this, let's zoom in on one of the most visible and most scrutinized idols on the planet, Jennie Kim. As a global ambassador for huge brands and a core member of BLACKPINK, her interviews have become a total lightning rod for this debate. That makes her the perfect case study for this awkward interview paradox.
The criticisms leveled at her get really specific. You know, people will point to her Met Gala interviews where a simple question gets a really short, cautious answer. They'll say her whole vibe feels rehearsed, and a lot of people notice this massive drop in energy from the absolute powerhouse they see on stage. Now, for an audience that's trained to value spontaneity above all else, that can easily come across as her being bored or just not having a personality. But here's the thing, and this is so crucial. This isn't really about one person's personality. It's a direct symptom of an industry that trains its stars with this laser focus on perfect performance. Every single dance move, every vocal run, every glance of the camera is drilled over and over. But you know what's not on the syllabus? Spontaneous, off-the-cuff conversation. They're trained to be perfect performers, not necessarily perfect talk show guests.
Okay, so you have this intense media training, right? And then you take that idol and drop them into a completely different media ecosystem. Well, that's where the training starts to clash with reality, and it feeds into this fundamental collision between two worlds with totally different rules, values, and expectations.
This chart just lays it out perfectly. Look at the disconnect. In a lot of Korean media, being polite, reserved, and always putting the group first, that's seen as the peak of professionalism. But in the West, that exact same behavior can be read as cold, boring, or like you're hiding something. Western hosts are hunting for that one viral soundbite, that off-the-cuff joke, while the K-pop system is all about unity and safe, controlled messaging. It is a perfect recipe for a total misunderstanding.
And, of course, this culture clash leads to a set of predictable, and let's be real, pretty lazy questions. Idols are constantly asked to talk about other, more famous groups, basically making them a footnote in someone else's story. The dating question? Yeah, that's a complete non-starter. And the songwriting question is kind of a trap. It plays into this Western idea that you have to be a singer-songwriter to be a real artist. If an idol says no, it just feeds that manufactured stereotype.
I mean, here's a perfect example. A reporter on a red carpet literally tried to bait GOT7 into starting a fake beef with BTS, a group they're all really good friends with. You could see Jackson and Bam Bam just immediately jump in to shut that down, like, no, we're friends, K-pop is one big family. But the fact that they even had to do that, it put them in this super awkward spot where they had to play diplomat instead of just, talking about their music.
But look, sometimes it goes way beyond just a culture clash or an awkward moment. Sometimes the interviewers aren't just confused, they're being flat out unprofessional and disrespectful. And that's not a cultural thing. That's just wrong, period.
And this is probably the most infamous one. When Ellen asked BTS this incredibly invasive question, she was basically sexualizing them and their relationship with their own fans on global television. You could see RM, the leader, was so stunned he didn't even translate it for the others. He just tried to laugh it off. It was such a clear violation of boundaries, all disguised as some kind of playful joke.
But RM, being the absolute pro that he is, got the last word. The next time they were on her show, he turned that awful moment into this sharp, witty comeback. He called out the disrespect without starting a huge fight. Honestly, it was a masterful move, and it shows you the kind of insane social gymnastics these idols have to perform just to get through an interview.
And let's be really clear here. This is not just a Western media problem. Not at all. After the group Brave Girls had this miraculous, viral comeback that literally saved their careers, what's one of the first things a Korean host asked them? If they were planning to get married now that they were turning 30. It was so sexist, so ageist, and it just completely ignored their incredible professional achievement.
And sometimes it gets even darker. On the very popular Korean show Radio Star, another idol, Kyuhyun, just kept pushing the late Guhara about her dating life. When she got visibly upset and told him to stop, he said this chilling threat on national TV. She was left in tears. This is so far beyond a bad question, it's public intimidation.
And then you have this. Imagine you're solo artist Park Bom. It's your first comeback showcase in 8 years. It's this huge emotional moment. And a journalist ambushes you with a question about the Burning Sun scandal, a horrible issue she had absolutely nothing to do with other than being at the same agency years ago. It was irrelevant, it was unfair, and just a really cynical thing to do.
So when you put all of this together, the misunderstandings, the culture clashes, the straight-up disrespectful questions, you start to see the immense pressure these idols are under. This whole interview minefield, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. It's one part of a much bigger world of constant, relentless scrutiny from every single direction.
And that scrutiny just never lets up. One day it's fans accusing you of plagiarizing another group's concept. The next, you're having to defend your own success on the charts against claims of manipulation. A single bad screenshot can turn into a months-long attitude scandal. Every single lyric gets picked apart, and even a genuine mistake, like NCT joking around during what turned out to be a real earthquake alarm, can cause a massive public backlash. It's a pressure cooker.
Just try to picture this. BTS is holding a massive press conference for a brand new album. It's supposed to be a celebration of their latest art. And instead of a question about their music, a reporter hijacks the moment to ask about a baseless plagiarism claim from 3 years ago that had already been proven false. They have to be ready at any moment to defend their entire career history from any attack.
And this quote from RM, it just says it all. When Billboard asked him if fan organization was manipulating the charts, he pointed out the double standard. He's basically saying that their success is always treated with suspicion, not because of any real evidence, but just because of who they are. A K-pop group with a powerful, dedicated fan base that the Western industry just doesn't quite understand.
So that leaves us with this big, critical question. As K-pop gets bigger and bigger, who's responsible for fixing this? Who's supposed to bridge the gap? Is it on the idols and their companies to change their training and learn to play the Western media game? Or is it on the media to actually do their homework, ask better questions, and learn about the global artists they're putting on their platforms? The real answer is probably somewhere in the middle, but it's a conversation that absolutely has to start happening.